It was one of those ordinary afternoons, the kind where everything blends into routine, where nothing feels remarkable. The sun had begun its slow descent, draping downtown Chicago in a warm, golden glow. With a couple of hours free between meetings, I decided to stop by Brewed Awakenings, the cafe I'd frequented for years. The hiss of the espresso machine, the murmur of conversations, the soft indie music drifting to the air, all felt familiar, comforting. I needed a break. Work had drained me, and a quiet moment with a latte seemed like the perfect escape. I pushed open the door, the familiar chime ringing softly overhead. As usual, the cafe was busy, but there was a cozy spot by the window I liked. I scanned the tables, and that's when I saw her, Emily, my wife. She sat near the window, radiant as ever, her long brown hair tumbled over her shoulders, green eyes catching the sunlight, sparkling, and her laugh, that free, genuine laugh that always made my chest tighten. I hadn't heard it like that in ages, and it made me smile automatically, but something felt off. I couldn't place it at first, yet standing frozen in the doorway, a shiver ran down my spine. Across from her sat a man I didn't recognize. He was tall, sharply dressed, hair neatly styled, clean-shaven. He leaned toward her as she spoke, posture relaxed, yet the glances they shared felt too close, too familiar. A tight, knot formed in my stomach, one I had never felt before. Was I imagining it? Paranoid? I stepped forward, mind racing, unable to tear my eyes away. I knew I should turn, leave, pretend I hadn't seen anything. But I couldn't ignore the gut-wrenching feeling that something was wrong. Slowly, I moved to the cafe, keeping my distance, trying to remain calm. Emily hadn't noticed me yet. I paused by the counter, debating whether to approach or leave, when, as if on cue, she looked up. Our eyes met. For a brief instant, time froze. Her face shifted, smile faltering, eyes wide with panic. She quickly looked away, pretending she hadn't seen me, but it was too late. I had already seen enough. My chest tightened, my heart thudded. Was this a mistake? A misunderstanding? I wanted to yell, demand answers, but my voice was swallowed by the cafe's hum. The man across from her noticed me staring and turned, offering a polite smile and extending his hand. "Hey, I'm Mark, a colleague of Emily's from work," he said, casual but too casual. The smile didn't reach his eyes. Something felt wrong. Mark. That name would haunt me forever. I drew a shaky breath and extended my hand. I said, forcing calm, though my voice betrayed me. "Nice to meet you." My palms were slick with sweat. Emily's face had turned pale, guilt washing over her as she awkwardly stood. She opened her mouth, but no words came. The silence between us was deafening. Finally, she spoke. I didn't expect to see you here," she said, voice trembling, eyes darting nervously between me and Mark. My heart sank. Those words hit harder than anything else. Was this really how it had come to this? She hadn't hidden it. She hadn't even tried. I struggled to steady myself, but my mind raced with every lie, every late-night excuse, every false story about work or friends. How long had this been going on? How many times had I been the fool? I looked at Mark one last time, then back at Emily. "Is this why you've been so distant lately?" I whispered. She didn't answer, gaze dropping. I turned on my heel and left, not glancing back. The cold air hit me like a shock, my chest aching, breath catching. Pain overwhelmed me, but I forced myself to move. I needed space. Walking toward my car, my thoughts spun. How could she let me live in the illusion of a perfect marriage while it was all a lie? I didn't know what to do, didn't know how to fix it. I climbed into my car, slammed the door, and drove aimlessly. Eventually, I ended up parked outside our apartment, hands gripping the wheel, silence pressing in. I replayed every missed clue, the late nights, the odd excuses, the strange glances. I thought about Mark, how natural he seemed with her, and it made me sick. I didn't want confrontation. I didn't want lies or apologies. I just wanted her to feel the weight of the pain she caused. I went inside our apartment. Quiet, the low hum of the refrigerator, the only sound. In the kitchen, I grabbed pen and paper and wrote without thinking what felt right. Don't come home. I folded the note, slipped it under the door. The words were final. It was over. I sat on the couch, waiting for her to come back, waiting for her to see the note, to realize everything had changed. But she didn't. Not that night. Not the next day. The silence grew heavier with each passing hour. I couldn't untangle my emotions, anger, sorrow, betrayal, all wrapped together in an overwhelming knot. And then I realized something. This wasn't just about her or the affair. It was about me, who I had become. I had spent so long clinging to a version of her that no longer existed, a version of myself that was no longer true. But at that moment, I knew one thing clearly. I wouldn't be the fool anymore.